CTV News with Lauren Stallone.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. An Innisfil man is facing a long list of charges following several shooting incidents in London and across southern Ontario. 23-year-old Jean Isaiah Doman was arrested by York Regional Police last month after shots rang out in Vaughan. Police accused Doman of firing roughly 125 shots at homes in London, Brampton, and Vaughan in August and September. No injuries were reported in any of the incidents. Surveillance video shows a car pulling up to a home on Fox Ridge Crescent in northwest London on August 18th, shortly after 33 shots were fired. Police say the occupants of the home were not the intended targets. Doman remains in jail awaiting his next court date. All 7 shootings are under investigation. 2 pedestrians were sent to hospital after being struck by a car last night. The pair were on Warncliffe near the Ridgeway just before midnight when they were hit. Police say the vehicle involved in the crash remained on scene, and both people were taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The investigation is ongoing and has been assigned to the London Police Road Safety Section. Meanwhile, 4 suspects remain in custody after police say they conducted a high-risk takedown in Hanover. Officers were called early Sunday morning after several armed men were seen in the backyard of a home. The suspects didn't gain entry and fled in a car. The driver failed to stop for police, and they had to box in the vehicle. The suspects were arrested at gunpoint. Police seized loaded weapons along with drugs and cash. London police have 1 suspect in custody and are looking for a second after a serious assault in the area of Shelburne Street and Devron Crescent Friday night. Police say the victim was seriously hurt by 2 men with weapons. Officers arrested 1 suspect nearby, but the second fled in a silver Cadillac SUV with license plate DETL 324. He's described as Indigenous, approximately 25 years old, with a medium build, and was wearing a white t-shirt and black shorts. They say no one gets a free ride, but you'll soon be able to get free parking in London's Old East Village. A new pilot project means drivers can keep their change, and as CTV's Brian Bicknell tells us, a decision by city councillors will also save a pair of parking lots from being redeveloped.
Earlier this year, they were considered for redevelopment into housing. Now these 2 underutilized parking lots on Queens Avenue between Adelaide and Elizabeth Streets will get a new lease on life.
Now is not the right time to proceed with the redevelopment on this particular site. And as we said from the beginning, we're not saying not never, but we're just saying not now.
Council's Strategic Priorities and Policy Committee has voted unanimously to remove 2 lots from a list of possible sites for housing, at least for the time being.
I'm still interested when the future time comes that it is appropriate to look at development of these sites. I do believe it is a good area for investment and housing and new neighbors.
The mayor says there are better options for housing, including a pair of parking lots on Horton at Rideout.
I think this is the appropriate way to move forward, is to drop this lot and move on to lots where there's much greater potential, like the one at Rideout Street has huge potential with the possibility of a high-density residential building on that site.
Councillors also endorsed a staff recommendation for a free parking pilot project on the Queens Avenue lots, but not everyone was ready to pull the plug on pay and display.
No offense to you folks, but just being consistent with my votes that folks who are using parking should pay for it, in the same way we're not offering free bus passes or bus tickets to people who are going to Old East Village.
The free parking pilot runs for a year and a half, wrapping up in the first quarter of 2027. Now, it doesn't apply at night. You'll still have to pay for parking between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. Final approval of the parking lot recommendations goes to Council October 14th. Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
Staff at City Hall have identified a location for a temporary micro-shelter location in London. The proposed site will be at the corner of Wilton Grove Road and Cheese Factory Road in southeast London. The property is owned by the city and is slated for industrial development in the future, but is currently growing corn. It sits adjacent to existing industrial properties. The micro-modular site will be home to 60 heated shelter units, along with a central trailer that will have a washroom, shower, and laundry facilities. Mayor Josh Morgan says the goal is to have the units in place by the end of the year. The proposal will be debated by the Community and Protective Services Committee tomorrow.
Ultimately, right now, what's happening is there are people who are sheltering on the streets in Old East Village, on Dundas Street, in the doorways of businesses, in municipal parks. We need another option. This is another option that council will have to make a decision on. I think it's a good option because we're going to get 60 people out of those places where people don't want them, where they're not getting the proper care services, and into a place where we can shelter them, give them a pathway to housing, give them some supports.
The manslaughter case looking into the death of a 16-year-old is now in its final stages, with closing arguments expected to be heard on Thursday. After the Crown wrapped up its case today, 20-year-old Trayton Hoffman did not testify in his own defense, and his lawyer did not call any evidence, meaning the case proceeds to the closing arguments. Hoffman has pled not guilty in connection with the stabbing death of 16-year-old Malik McDonald Mills. The teenager died in August of 2023 in the area of King Edward Avenue in East London. The Crown's theory is that Hoffman was with a group of others and didn't stab the victim, but rather he was a party to the offense. Two teenagers charged under the Youth Offenders Act also face charges in connection with the killing and have future court dates. It's a small space with the potential to make a big difference. London Health Sciences Centre is changing the way women's health is treated in hospitals. CTV's Rita Ismail reports.
A new room at London Health Sciences Centre is offering both comfort and choice when it comes to women's health.
This is the first for us here in London, which we're very pleased to have as part of our opportunities for our patients to access.
The hospital's new women's minor procedure room is a first-of-its-kind space designed specifically for common gynecologic procedures like IUD insertions, biopsies, and exams, with one major difference.
What we do offer here for patients is intravenous, what we refer to as conscious or moderate to mild conscious sedation. So very similar to what a patient might receive during, say, a colonoscopy procedure in an outpatient scoping center. So patients have the opportunity to receive a small IV placed by one of our nurses, and then during their procedure they receive a combination of a pain medication as well as a medication that helps to calm and relax.
The setup is simple, just a physician, a nurse, and the tools to monitor patients safely. But the impact is big. By offering light sedation, patients stay awake but relaxed, helping reduce anxiety, manage pain, and avoid a trip to the operating room.
Unfortunately, women's health has not been overly studied. There's been a common misconception that things are deemed to be pain-free when in fact they're not. So this allows patients to receive the pain control that they require and that they deserve.
The approach also helps free up busy surgical suites, shifting appropriate procedures out of the OR and into a setting that's more efficient for both patients and hospital staff. Appointments are shorter, recovery is faster, and most women are in and out in under an hour. LHSC plans to expand what's offered in this new room with additional procedures. Rita Ismail, CTV News.
Water and wastewater rates for London ratepayers will not be going up in 2026 as much as previously budgeted. A council committee has endorsed a recommendation to reduce the water rate increase by 0.4%. It means ratepayers will now face an increase of 2.2% on their monthly water charges. The wastewater increase goes down by 4.6%, leaving ratepayers with an increase of 2.4% for wastewater charges. The new rates take effect January 1st. Deputy Mayor Sean Lewis says new rules on how development charges are levied means more money will trickle down to the city.
So development charges are what we charge, where it's a growth pays for growth, but the province did provide some exemptions in this term, and it has said, you know, people who are building affordable housing don't have to pay these things. There are some other exemptions that are involved as well. We used to have to replace that money with our own property tax money. Now we don't have to do that. The province has clarified that, so that saves London property taxpayers some money.
She lost both her parents before the age of 25, but a Clinton woman has taken her pain and lessons learned and turned them into a guidebook to help others dealing with the loss of a loved one. Scott Miller reports.
When Deidre Garretts was just finishing up high school, she lost her mother to a pulmonary embolism. She was absolutely heartbroken.
We told each other everything, and she was a parent to a lot of my friends as well. And it was different navigating life without her. She was the rock of my family with my dad.
Just as life was getting back on track, she lost her father to a heart attack in March of this year.
We were super close. I know it's very cliche to say that you're best friends with your parents, but it really was like that.
Amidst her grief, Garretts found the clarity to document all the intricate and sometimes confusing details surrounding a loved one's death that no one told her would fall in her lap. Things like probate and executors and estate organization.
It's overwhelming, especially if there's not many siblings or not many people that are going to be making those decisions. So when my dad passed away, it was all on me. I'm an only child. I didn't have anyone else to make the decisions with. It was lots of family friends helping me, but it realistically all fell on me.
All those unexpected decisions led Garretts to consider that she might not be alone in feeling overwhelmed. So she decided to write a book about her experience, titling it bluntly, My Parents Died. From funeral planning and legal paperwork to emotional grief and healing.
I want it to be something that can be talked about more, because when it's talked about more, then people feel more comfortable supporting people through grief. Otherwise, it's almost like an elephant in the room that no one's talking about. I want it to be more comfortable sharing, talking, so people can be supported and that no one really feels alone during this process.
In Clinton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
London is preparing to play host to 1,000 Special Olympic athletes. A kickoff event for the 2026 School Championships was held in Dorchester today. It is the first time London will host the Ontario-wide event. CTV's Sean Irvin reports.
With high fives and cheers, participants in a qualifying event for the 2026 Special Olympics School Championships prepared to compete. These soccer players from multiple area schools are vying to take part in the Ontario-wide event. It will be held May 26th to 28th at Western Alumni Stadium.
It's our pinnacle event for high school age students across the province, individuals with and without intellectual disabilities competing on the same team under the Special Olympics Ontario banner.
There was a lot of energy amongst the participants. What makes this fun?
Soccer ball.
Does it make you laugh? Does it make you smile?
Yeah.
I see that smile. This makes you smile this day, doesn't it? Yeah, it's good to be around friends, isn't it?
Yeah.
The games will be sponsored by multiple local businesses. London Police will serve as organizers.
Athletes with and without intellectual disabilities will compete together, feeling safe, feeling supported, and feeling celebrated.
Okay, Ben, you're going in for call-in for a minute.
Past competitors serve as an inspiration.
Yes, I'd like to show you my medals. No, I got bronze in soccer, crown for Brantford, and I got gold for basketball.
But as you've learned, the rewards stretch beyond medals. Student volunteers paired with participants on the field gain a new perspective while making friends.
It makes me really happy that they're happy.
It is the same statement from parents here cheering on their children. Phil Coughlin of St. Mary's has watched his daughter Talia participate for several years.
It's a huge sense of pride to see her out playing fun and being successful when she makes a pass or scores a goal.
Because after all, every participant likes to contribute, compete, and have a chance to win.
It's inclusivity, and it's great for the kids. It really provides a boost to their self-esteem and self-confidence, a sense of belonging, and in a team atmosphere, and they all have fun while they're doing it. It's great to see.
In Dorchester, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
Coming up, an unbelievable sight from a safari in Africa. How far elephants will go to protect their herd.
5K a day is back on 97.5 Virgin Radio. Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
North American stocks finished lower today. In Toronto, the TSX lost 180 points, and in New York, the Dow fell 92, while the Nasdaq dropped 153. The Canadian dollar gained 0.02 of a cent, and on commodity markets, gold closed above $4,000 an ounce with a $28 gain, and oil dropped 4 cents a barrel. Canada's Prime Minister was welcomed to the White House today for high-level talks on trade and tariffs. This comes at a time when Donald Trump is threatening new tariffs. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
With a firm but friendly handshake, Prime Minister Mark Carney arrived at the White House for his working lunch with U.S. President Donald Trump.
We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things.
In a 32-minute Oval Office meeting, Trump called Carney a great man several times, adding he's confident they'd work through the issues preventing a deal on tariffs.
He's a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants. And I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially. And I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
He's a great man, and you want to do a deal with Canada. Why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
Trump says the two countries are in a natural business conflict because Canada and the U.S. want to make similar things on both sides of the border.
It's a tough situation because we want to make our cars here. At the same time, we want Canada to do well making cars. So we're working on formulas, and I think we'll get there.
Carney said the two countries are competing, not in conflict.
We are the largest foreign investor in the United States. $500 billion in the last 5 years alone, probably $8 trillion in the next 5 years if we get the agreement that we expect to get.
Following the meeting, the minister in charge of Canada-U.S. trade updated reporters on how it went.
It concluded with the president and the prime minister directing us, me and my colleagues, and the president, his cabinet secretaries who were there, Ambassador Greer, Secretary Lutnick, and others, to continue the conversation and to quickly land deals that will bring, we think, greater certainty in areas where the principal areas would be steel and aluminum and energy.
In a sign that work will be continuing, Dominic LeBlanc is staying in D.C. for the next 24 hours for more meetings. And this evening, Prime Minister Carney is having a working dinner with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Washington.
Also tonight, the Union for Canadian Customs Officers is warning about the over-reliance on automated systems, as CTV's Sanjay Maru reports.
What's going on?
You're looking at transport trucks destined for Windsor stretched for kilometers last week after a systems outage at the Canada Border Services Agency brought commercial processing to a crawl. For nearly 2 days, border officers were forced to process drivers manually, leading to delays of up to 38 hours at some crossings. Union leaders say the outage didn't just slow traffic, it may have weakened Canada's first line of defense.
Anything that is a flag or a lookout that we normally would have gotten through that system, in this case, since it took a couple days for the system to come back, we would only be getting those in many cases once the importer of the truck had already come into Canada, which is, of course, a concern.
The CBSA says the outage began September 28th during system maintenance, not a cyber attack, and that operations are now back to normal. But the union says the agency's core computer network dates back to the 1990s, making it prone to outages.
Years ago, when we had the officers in place to do the work properly, the situation would not have been nearly as bad as it was.
The shipment's available.
For trucking companies, even a short shutdown can ripple through the supply chain.
The most important thing is communication. As long as you're communicating with your customer in real time and you're letting them know about the delays so that they can plan ahead, that's the most important thing. The key is to not procrastinate on the situation, to attack it right away.
Matic Logistics Solutions says teamwork is key, building partnerships with other carriers to keep shipments moving when their own trucks are tied up.
Let's say I had a truck, it was going to London to pick up. Let's say it broke down. I'd have some like GTA guys I know. I'd be like, hey, you got a truck available. I got this pickup here. Can you just bring it, do this one for me? I'll help you clear the load, whatever it is.
The customs union says this outage shows how border operations have become too dependent on automation and not enough on people.
We need to get back into the business of interaction with importers, interaction with travelers. That's how we keep Canadian communities safe.
The CBSA says it is preparing a full report for the public safety minister, explaining what caused the outage and how it plans to prevent another one. In Windsor, Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
Turning now to some unbelievable footage from southern Africa, a fearsome elephant charged at a group of tourists on a safari. Happened in Botswana. The elephant was reportedly projecting its herd's young calves. It charged on the safari's boat, flipping it over. With the help of guides, most of the tourists were able to get away safely, although one tourist did suffer some injuries. Others thought the worst would happen.
The first thought that came to my mind was, this is the end of me.
Experts say an elephant guarding calves is considered one of the most dangerous animals in the wild.
Good evening. Temperatures are starting to drop off. We have single-digit overnight lows. The cold front has moved through and the winds out of the north. Skies will be mainly clear overnight and waking up to some sunshine. Thanks, Dan, for this photo of Miss Bentley the Corgi. Miss Bentley the Corgi has about 18,000 followers on Instagram, and you should see her photos. What a cutie. I love this one, too. Sunshine heading into tomorrow morning and 8 degrees. Stay with us. I'll have all your local weather details coming up on the other side of the break.
Julie Atchison joins me on the desk now. Julie, it's a little bit chillier, a little bit darker out there, which I personally like. I'm ready for that fall weather.
Yes, in terms of a big change underway, that's what we're experiencing. This cold front bringing a much cooler air mass to southern Ontario. Temperatures feeling fall-like, and the coolest air of the season arrives, especially the overnight lows will be dropping near the freezing mark. So if you've been looking forward to some autumn weather, this forecast delivers and skies are going to clear out. We reached our high early in the day today, Lauren. Temperatures dropping off through the afternoon and overnight lows will dip into the single digits. London, 8 degrees. As we head toward Lake Huron, all of our favorite spots, Port Elgin, Southampton, Grand Bend, 10 degrees, so holding in the double digits. And as we head toward Lake Erie near Port Stanley, 9 to 10 degrees. Winds will be light overnight, but generally out of the north. This cold front that's moved through, ushering in the cooler air mass. So that was the leading edge of the cool down. The cloud cover quickly will break up overnight, so skies will be mainly clear. And heading into tomorrow morning, we're into full sunshine. Let's check this forecast model out. You can see sunny conditions across the area. A few fair weather clouds coming downwind of Georgian Bay. Other than that, not expecting a whole lot. So looks like a beautiful day setting up. Sunshine conditions across the region, full sun, and heading into the afternoon, the winds picking up out of the north. So it'll be a bit breezy and feeling perhaps a tad cooler than 16 degrees. Conditions across our region, quite seasonal. In Midwestern Ontario, cooler though, 12 to 13 degrees. So feeling the fall chill for the first time this season. Over the next 7 days, we're going to go into a holiday weekend, and with it, we have a nice sunshine. So mix of sun and cloud expected. Forecast indicating high pressure, and we'll see a series of these highs building in. That means lots of stability in the forecast and sunshine. So the next 3 days, temperatures are set to be a bit cooler, but by the weekend, we are back into the upper teens. Friday, 18, 19 degrees on Saturday, 20 degrees for holiday Monday under a mix of sun and cloud. You can take your turkey time outside, perhaps have an outdoor outdoor picnic. Mix of sun and cloud right through the weekend across Midwestern Ontario. But I want to show you these overnight lows, 0 to +1. So that means there is the potential for patchy frost. Now, this will be well inland from the lake shore, but overnight lows edging close to the freezing mark. So something to keep in mind, especially if you have your beautiful fall mums outdoors. You don't want them to get nipped, or if you have some tender plants that you'd like to winter and bring them indoors and keep them nice through the next season. Those temperatures will be keeping a close eye on. So not a hard freeze, but definitely the coldest air arriving to our area. Lots of sunshine as we edge towards the weekend, and a mix of sun and cloud Saturday right through holiday Monday, with daytime highs climbing into the upper teens. Lauren, back to you.
Thanks, Julie. It's Mental Health Awareness Week, and for many seeking treatment, wait times for programs can be weeks or even months. One program, however, has been able to eliminate its backlog. CTV's Pauline Chan looks into how.
Rebecca, who prefers to remain anonymous, has been a mental health client for some 3 decades, beginning with waiting several months for treatment of an eating disorder.
When I had to wait, I felt like no one cared. I felt like a number.
Now she's getting therapy for her mental health relating to a family member with addiction problems. But unlike her first experience, she was able to get next-day access to care thanks to a restructuring of the addictions program at William Osler Health. Megan Galbraith says before the pandemic, there were backlogs, especially with people awaiting one-on-one counseling. Their solution was to increase the number of group programs.
We actually have rolling admission groups now where you just start. It doesn't matter. People are in different weeks of the group and they learn from each other, which is great.
She says group therapy is successful and comfortable for many addictions clients, although those who prefer one-on-one treatment also have that option. But it frees up more time for the therapist to take single client appointments. They deal with addictions of all types, substances, gambling, online gaming, as well as concurrent conditions like depression or even psychosis. Dr. Ahmed Mansour says alcohol is the biggest addiction, followed by opioids, and they welcome both chronic as well as acute addiction patients.
Chronic, long-standing patients having addiction on the top of their underlying mental health, which is, we call it concurrent disorder, that go through the centralized intake. But for urgent patients, for example, people who visit the emergency room and they are willing to attend treatment at the withdrawal management center, they will have the service right away.
The programs here have been priceless for me. They have changed my life.
Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Blue Jays fans have been cheering the team on from afar tonight as they go for a playoff series win against the Yankees.
And a swing and a high drive to deep left center. He's hit it out!
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. crushed a 2-run homer to give the Jays an early 2-0 lead, his third home run in 3 games. If the Jays win tonight, it would be their first postseason series win since 2016. The score is currently 9-6 for the Yankees. You can turn your channel over to watch that because this is our time tonight. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.